It's just still like a little bit awkward, like I don't know. I've vexed it all the time.
Bro.
Alex's S2000. So as you guys would have seen earlier in the year, we made a little announcement that we're working with Alex. It's quite cool to actually also have a Honda D1, I think. He's done a lot of R&D on this car himself. He's designed his own knuckles, his own steering. He's done quite a lot of work. It's running a HGT sequential. It was a Plus T F20 with a custom turbo on it from Turbo Care down in Christchurch on E85. As you can see, we've got it all apart at the moment. He's actually turning up tomorrow. He's flying up from Christchurch to help put his car back together. We've got a real spicy engine turning up for it.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball!
It's all in our Jay's Racing and Torque Performance livery with all the other sponsors on it. Calford Cams, Turbo Care, HGT, Goodman Engineering, Tyre L. So it's going to be quite a cool car to actually see out there. Something a bit different, something purposely engineered out of a grip car into a drift car. It does actually make phenomenal traction. I'll show you what actually happened on our last test day. It only kind of got in, I think we got in probably 3/4 of a day and running at max power. We had a bit of a something exited the chat, so we'll have a look at, because it was originally a Plus T, we'll have a look at what happens to the clutch. This is Alex's original engine. This thing is a stock bottom end F20c and it has done a metric shit ton of work for a stock block. It made a 600 wheel on E85 beforehand with just some valve springs and a little bit of a tidy up in the head. Unfortunately, going into competition, we're not going to be able to use this motor. It's pretty stressed out. We need to, well we have, and a few of the other sponsors I should say, have come together to help Alex out, and we've put a full forged sleeved engine together which actually arrives tomorrow. This thing absolutely surprised me and surprised a lot of other people as well. It was quite a potent little package with a turbo from Turbo Care as well, but it's pushing oil now, and we saw it the last test day, it was having a little bit of trouble, not to mention clutch exited the chat. The HGT sequential and this clutch were working for him, but unfortunately on the last test day with some of the sponsors and stuff, it kind of didn't make it. So anyway, we're going to put the new motor in. Should be capable of about 1,000 wheel. I'm not going to run it at that to start with, but we're going to slowly work our way up. We've got to work out a new breathing package as well for the new motor and everything. So yeah, Alex is flying up tomorrow and he's going to help Troy and a couple of the other boys rip into it and hopefully get the new motor in.
Take her down, Smithers.
You're flying the plane, sir.
Excellent.
So, Alex has come up from Christchurch to help put his S2000 back together. We started the run-in process yesterday, but unfortunately found an oil leak in the worst place possible. It's leaking from the front timing cover by the turbo. So, yep, it's just a small leak coming from here. So we've cleaned it all up, and we're gonna now put it back together with some secret sauce. But the car made great power yesterday, just on the, even on the run-in on 15 pound of boost, 15-16 pound, it still made like 300 kilowatts. So we're looking forward to actually making some power with it today, hopefully for Alex before he flies home. And I'm making him work on his own car.
I love working on my own car. Nah, these guys are doing heaps, helping heaps. Everyone here's super helpful, having a drifter in the workshop. So yeah, just trying to hustle before I get onto my plane.
The new engine combo is Dutton sleeve, 11.5 to 1 compression, Alex?
Yep, still, yep.
Yeah, 11.5 to 1 compression, BC rods. What pistons did you go for in the end?
CP pistons, they're all gas ported and whatever. It's quite semi-fancy for CP pistons anyway.
Turbo Care sent us down a slightly bigger turbo.
Well, we upgraded the fuel system. You guys put obviously the fuel system in. Getting rid of some factory stuff like the factory fuel rig. So we got like a nice Turbo Smart aftermarket fuel rig now and some main lines in the engine bay. So getting rid of some potentials for fire hazards, hopefully. That's the plan.
Just added a little bit more control with a mechanical Turbo Smart FPR, and just got rid of some of the lines that were in there and just changed them all to PDFE. just so we had a bit more endurance. Still got the HGT sequential with a new tilt and clutch and winter's quick change. So yeah, hopefully Alex can get this together today, and then we can start putting some power, and we have a big drum of ethanol over there.
Plug that in there. So Aaron's been looking after me for ages. I've been getting free ethanol off him for a very long time, so there's net ethanol. That's where we go.
And yeah, so hopefully this afternoon, fast forward, you'll see it on the dyno. If not, we didn't make it, but yeah, we should be able to get the big boy boost tune in this afternoon.
I don't know when Marlon's turn up. He reckoned about 10. What's the time now? It's about 10. Come on.
These are like SR20 problems.
For real. For real.
Wasn't this engine just for
And like,
pull it in there and then just like shove a feeler gauge in and out of there until we reckon that it's pretty good. Highly technical stuff here. This is how Honda says to do it in the manual. Says if it fails the first time. You got to chemically weld it together the second time. JP's on the jobs. That's a good looking beam.
it's not my first rodeo.
Righto. Please cooperate. I think while I'm in here, and that's super easy to do, let's try that.
This is the first time he's ever used actual AM spanners and not a crescent.
Tell that to everyone. Yeah, there's a try. Okay, my crescent's done it up tight,
It needs to be his new profile picture.
Where's the hammer? What? Yeah, like how do you tighten this frickin' bad boy in there, like properly? Considering my steering rack's kind of leaning against it a little bit.
So, you need Honda SST
I haven't, because that's how I removed it there.
9950.
The problem is, the deep socket doesn't get deep enough, and it hits the rack. Sure that's not enough. No? Alright, there we go. I know these are tight. A lot of people struggle to pull these out with 1K series.
That's not fucking tight.
Surely that's tight.
Easier.
Just actual punch yourself in the face, and I did that very recently, it was not flash.
That's tight.
Must have been loose before.
Alright, well, that's me done for the day. Put some silicone on and tighten up a crank pulley.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, beautiful. They just slithered off. So that was just a leftover, like the leftover goo. That's because there's another sealing surface here. The front cover and the sump goes together. And if you leave that in there, it holds your sump off. Then you have another leak.
Jesus.
We'll just check this out. Yeah, it still works. No. So it has to kind of go, in here first.
Yep, you're good here.
And kind of in there first.
You can tell he's done this a lot of times, eh?
That's going to be a different one.
Yeah.
Angle.
anyone who doesn't know who this man is, I work here. He doesn't work here. This is Marlon from Pepper Performance. He's also one of the other sponsors of the S2000. So he's just come in this morning to help Alex chuck the car back together and get it on the dyno. He wants to see what it'll do.
Oh, Jess Racing. Jess Racing. The stuff is like, oh, what's the word for that? Water wetter. It's kind of like water wetter, water wetter, but it's JDMAs, so it's going to be me.
Oh, can we show this, Brad? Cross streams.
So this is what I do after I do a job that's semi-major, is just like sit here and stare at it for a bit and make sure I've done everything up. And just like think about the things that I haven't done up, so watch me. Ooh, splits off. Oil at the top of it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we are. Alright, I guess we'll let it warm up. And hopefully it's not leaking. Yeah, it's already like quite tacky. That's good. Behind the scenes of the scenes.
Alright, so we got Alex's D1 car on the dyno, ran it in yesterday, trims will look good. We've done another oil change, cut the filter open, everything looks nice and tidy. A couple of oil leaks we had to sort out, so that's all done. So now we're just working on the final tune, so we're doing it's running flex fuel, so I've got to do a pump gas tune. Then once that's all done, E85. Was making about 300 wheel horsepower yesterday. That was with low cam only, so no VTEC engaged. We're only going about 7,000 RPM on about 14 pound of boost, which is wastegate. So we're going to go all the way to the red line on low cam. So we're going to do a full tune on low cam. We'll then do 4D mapping in the link, so that way we can have a proper crossover onto high cam. So we have two separate maps. And then we also have 5D mapping for the ethanol, so that way we can add some additional fuel based on the ethanol content. So that's what we're working through today. It might be probably going to be a full day tuning, as we're going to do all the low cam stuff, we're going to do all the high cam stuff on pump gas, and then we're going to do it all again on E85. So that's effectively the second VTEC run, and that's with the cams turned off. This is all engine horsepower, and wheels, pretty good. Can't wait to see what it runs at full jam on E85. And nice on rods. I don't know about the AFR rods. That's not leaning out. I'm watching the AFR probe in the car, and I think it's just quite hard.
If anything, if we can get anything out of the engine now that we couldn't before, it's that. It's the mid-range that it was always held back on. So give it that.
65 plus rods, we can fucking bring it in here, bro. Or even
it's already at 5,000 up here.
Oh no, it says ramp it up there, so what I'll do is that we'll ramp up on that angle to about 1.2 and then on flat. Car's just done a few pulls now on pump fuel. It's making phenomenal power. What Daniel's doing at the moment is we're going to target on pump fuel of 1.2 bar. He's just trying to get the boost curve straight because we're having trouble catching the turbo on the wastegate. It just did a pull before, which is not on the screen, but it made 2 bar by 5.5, which is pretty spicy. We don't want that on pump fuel at all. Otherwise Rodney's going to come out. So once he's got this boost curve done, he can tidy up the sort of run, and then we're kind of done on pump fuel, and then we can start adding some E85. We are out of petrol. Alex, get ready out, mate. We're out again. Oh, yeah. We're there. Getting on the F. So effectively, we legitimately just ran out of gas. So now Daniel Lambda has decided that we're going to move to ethanol. So we're going to put the spicy gas in it, the hand sanitizer, and see how much power we can make. Now we can send it. So I'm hoping for a sort of like a round number of about 700, 750, what do you reckon?
Well, it only made 254. I don't know, surely it's 650 at the wheels.
Yeah, it's between 650 and 750 is the game. No, the goal, sorry. So let's see how it goes.
Why putting water in?
I actually got worried for
It's a hydrogen car.
Oh.
So we've finished up with all the jam side of it. The car made an impressive 633 wheel horsepower. We've changed the dyno, just Alex is a bit of a basic bitch and can't understand kilowatts. So we've changed it to horsepower for him. So we've got a 633 horsepower at the wheels and 578 newton meters. and it's only just over 1.2 bar of boost, so 1.2, 1.3 bar on E85. Car's making full boost by 5.5, so it's really making some jam. It's only a little bit more than what it used to do, but now that we have a built sleeved motor, the engine's a lot happier, it's a lot safer. We are out of fuel system though. We really wanted to try and crack that 700 mark. It is making 740-ish at the flywheel, but we kind of wanted to do it at the wheels, as everyone does. But we're really stoked with that. We've still got a lot of partial throttles and some ignition timing to do with the gear cut stuff to do, but the actual power side of it's done. And we're looking forward to finally going out testing in this car on the 11th of December, so stand by for that video. Alright, so we've just taken the car off to Dyno. It's just pretty much a whole morning and a little bit of the afternoon. What are we now? Well, 4 o'clock, so it's just done a whole day on the dyno actually. And we are just doing like a post-dyno inspection. We're just making sure everything's all nice and dry underneath, especially with full forged aftermarket everything style engine, like a race engine. We need to make sure that we have no leaks. We need to make sure that we have like nothing's melted or anything like that. So we're just going to go over the whole engine bay, make sure I can't find any leaks, and then we're going to go up underneath the car as well and have a look under there. We're already in a better spot than we were this morning because there's no oil leaking up front cover. No puddles sitting down there. That all looks pretty good from the top. Slip and die. Yesterday this thing was absolutely hurning out, and today it's dry. And yes, there is oil in it. 630 horsepower, no oil leaks, and Alex can go racing on the 11th, so sounds good. Looking forward to seeing it next season. So now we're going to go testing, and then after that, I suppose next see this car, or you'll see it around the workshop, but yes, we'll next see this car in February for round 1 of the D1NZ Drifting Championship. Should be good.
We don't like running too much, it becomes dangerous.
Very expensive oil.
It kept on revving.
Where would the plug come in?